Well, let me welcome everybody to the State of the University Address. My name is Perry Brown, and I have the pleasure of serving as the Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs. I want to welcome all of you to the beginning of fall semester with a special welcome for those of you who have made the choice to join us for the first time this year. As we begin this event, please join me in thanking our sign language interpreters, Amy Davis and Denise May. Thank you for your work. I now would like to introduce those people that are on the stage here, and as I introduce them, I ask them to stand, and I would ask that you please hold your applause until they are all standing. Dean Christopher Comer, the College of Arts and Sciences. Dean Larry Gianchetta, the School of Business Administration. Dean Roberta Evans, the Phyllis J. Washington College of Education and Human Sciences. Dean James Birchfield, the College of Forestry and Conservation. Dean Vernon Grund, the College of Health Professions and Biomedical Sciences. Dean Roger McLean, the School of Extended and Lifelong Learning. Dean James McCusick, the Davidson Honors College. Professor Dennis Swybold, standing in for Dean Denise Dowling of the School of Journalism. Dean Irma Russell, the School of Law. Dean Barry Good, Missoula College. Dean Stephen Kalm, the College of Visual and Performing Arts. Now, if they will sit down again, that would be great. I will ask the deans to introduce new faculty members joining their schools and colleges this year. I will begin with Dean Christopher Comer, Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, and each of the other deans will follow in the order they are seated. Dean Comer.
Thank you, Provost Brown. Good morning, everyone. It gives me great pleasure to introduce a rather large new cohort of faculty for the College of Arts and Sciences. So I'll name them all and ask them to stand, and then we'll have applause at the end. First, from the Division of Biological Sciences, Katja Boranina as an assistant professor. She comes to us from Johns Hopkins University, where she completed a postdoc. The Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry, Orion Berryman, an organic chemist who comes from the Scripps Research Institution. Also from chemistry, Aaron Thomas, who will be associate professor and serve as the director of the Native American Research Laboratory. From the Department of Economics, Katrina Mullen, who comes to us from a fellowship at the University of California, Berkeley, and is an environmental economist. Also from economics, Matthew Taylor, coming to us from the University of Oregon. From the Environmental Studies program, Rosalind Lapierre, whose traditional area of knowledge is traditional ecological knowledge. Department of Mathematical Sciences, Matt Roscoe joins us from the University of Montana. Before that, University of Wisconsin. His area is mathematics education. Department of Military Science, Michael Swinson will serve as professor and chair. His most recent activity was with the Joint Special Operations Command at Fort Bragg. Department of Modern and Classical Languages and Literature, Brian Dowdle joins us as an assistant professor of Japanese. Also joining us as an assistant professor of Japanese is Robert Tuck. From the Department of Physics and Astronomy, joining us as an assistant professor, David Macaluso. Also from the Department of Physics and Astronomy, Paul Jansen as an assistant professor. The Department of Political Science, Abhishek Chatterjee, joining us with a specialization in international and comparative politics. And last but by no means least, from the Department of Psychology, Yoonhee Jang, joining us as a cognitive psychologist. Please join me in recognizing them.
Good morning. We in the School of Business are delighted to introduce our new faculty member, Justin Engel, Assistant Professor in Marketing. He comes to us from the University of Washington. Please recognize Justin.
Welcome. I'm pleased to introduce 4 new colleagues in the College of Education and Human Sciences, beginning with the Department of Communicative Sciences and Disorders. Dr. Catherine Off came from University of Washington by way of Cal State Northridge experience. Joining her in the Department of Counselor Education, coming from Penn State, Lindsay Nichols. In the Department of Curriculum and Instruction, 2 new colleagues, Kate Braco from UW with experience at Seattle University, and Lucila Rudge, who comes to us from The Ohio State University. Welcome.
Good morning. I am pleased to welcome 2 new faculty members at the College of Forestry and Conservation. Professor Ashley Ballantyne will be Assistant Professor of Bioclimatology, and in the Department of Forest Management, we have a new hydrologist, Professor Kelsey Genso. Thank you.
The School of Journalism is pleased to welcome 1 new assistant professor this semester, and I would like to introduce Jewel Banville, a veteran editor, producer, and reporter. We also want to welcome this year's T. Anthony Polner Distinguished Professor. He's from the Washington Post. He's our television critic, columnist, and author, Hank Stuever.
Good morning. On behalf of the law school, it's my pleasure to introduce a new assistant professor. I saw him just a minute ago, John Byington. John will teach commercial law classes, including secured transactions, sales, and business transactions. He practiced law in Pocatello, Idaho, and has taught as a professor, adjunct professor at Idaho State University. Please join me in welcoming John.
In the absence of the new dean of the Mansfield Library, I will introduce for the library Angela Dresselhaus, who joins us from having worked in the libraries at Utah State University.
Good morning and welcome. It is my pleasure this morning to introduce 4 new colleagues to Missoula College. First, Teresa Kinney. Teresa is our newest assistant professor in our nursing program. She holds a Master of Science in Nursing and has worked in Missoula. She's no stranger to Missoula. She has worked at Community Medical Center. Next is Mary Ann Mosley. Mary Ann is our newest instructor in our respiratory care program. Mary Ann has extensive experience in her field. As one example, she has worked at Altaview Hospital in Salt Lake City, Utah. Next is Allie Pepper. Allie is our newest assistant professor in the Department of Applied Arts and Sciences. Allie holds a doctoral degree from the University of Montana, and she will be, among other things, instructing psychology courses for us. And last but certainly not least, I'd like to introduce Stephen Shen. Steve is our new assistant professor in the Department of Applied Computing and Electronics. Steve holds a doctoral degree from the University of California, Riverside, and he will be directing our electronics program. Please welcome these new faculty members.
Good morning. The College of Visual and Performing Arts is excited to welcome 6 dynamic artists and teachers. First, from the School of Art is Jennifer Combe, who will teach art education. Then we have from the School of Media Arts, Hee-Ju Gwen Kim, who will be our new professor of animation. And then from the School of Music, we have David Edmonds, who will be the director of choral activities. Johan Eriksson, who will teach saxophone and jazz studies. Rob Tapper, who will teach trombone and direct our jazz bands. And finally, from the School of Theater and Dance, we have Bernadette Sweeney, who will teach theater history and performance studies. Thank you.
So I thank the deans for introducing all of these new faculty members, and just, again, welcome on board. We are so happy to have you here and so pleased that you are a member of the University of Montana family. We now want to recognize a number of faculty members who received special recognition this year. So for those faculty members whose name I read, if you are here, please stand as I read your name and remain standing so that we can recognize you as a group. To the audience, again, please hold your applause until all the faculty members are standing. The group that I would like to begin with are those that were awarded tenure this year. David Affleck, Forest Management. Bradley Allen, Art. Julia Baldwin, Geosciences. Benedict Bassaran, Modern and Classical Languages and Literatures. Michael Braun, Management and Marketing. James Birchfield, Forestry and Conservation. Julian Campana, Theater and Dance. Bradley Clow, Liberal Studies. Armand Duwell, Philosophy. Heidi Eggert, Theater and Dance. Robert Green, History. Kevin Griggs, Music. Mark Hebelwhite, Ecosystem and Conservation Sciences. Joshua Herbold, Accounting and Finance. Larry Howell, Law. Andrew King-Rees, Law. Cameron Lawrence, Management Information Systems. Nathaniel Leftow, Liberal Studies. Gordon Lukart, Biological Sciences. Jeremy Lurgio, Print and Photojournalism. Doug McDonald, Anthropology. Martin Marco, Modern and Classical Languages and Literatures. Mary McHugh, Health Professions. Valerie Moody, Health and Human Performance. Charles Palmer, Health and Human Performance. Eric Reimer, English. Matthew Schertz, Curriculum and Instruction. Dane Scott, Society and Conservation. Marianne Sonntag Bowman, Social Work. Simona Stan, Management and Marketing. Greg Twig, Media Arts. Art Woods, Biological Sciences. Christina Yoshimura, Communication Studies. Daniel Wozniak, Social Work. Kate Zellner, Mansfield Library. Please, a round of applause for the great achievements of these people. I'm sure some of you thought I was going to read the whole faculty at that particular time. That was a pretty long list, but a great list of people that we are so proud of the accomplishments that they've had. Now we would like to recognize those faculty members who were promoted this year. Again, please stand as I read your name, and then everybody hold your applause until they have them all standing. These are the people that are promoted to full professor. Robert Baker, English. Blakely Brown, Health and Human Performance. Vincent Colucci, Pharmacy Practice. Bruce Costa, Accounting and Finance. Phil Condon, Environmental Studies. Wade Davies, Native American Studies. Kim Graniff, Marine and Mike Mansfield Library. Sarah Halverson, Geography. Larry Howell, Law. John Hunt, English. Jesse Johnson, Computer Science. Andrew King-Rees, Law. Janine Montauban, Modern and Classical Languages and Literatures. Yolanda Reimer, Computer Science. Frank Rosenzweig, Biological Sciences. Dave Shiley, Geography. Karen Volkman, English. Please congratulate these people as well. And then for the group of people that were promoted to associate professor this year, David Affleck, Forest Management. Julia Baldwin, Geosciences, Kevin Bell, Art, Benedict Bassaran, Modern and Classical Languages and Literatures, Keith Bozak, Society and Conservation, Clara Bricknerova, Chemistry and Biochemistry, James Karinji, Social Work, Jennifer Kavanaugh, Music, Min Chen, Computer Science, Eric Cheesebro, Mathematical Science, Shi Chu, Chemistry and Biochemistry, Corey Cleveland, Ecosystem and Conservation Sciences, Bradley Clow, Liberal Studies, John DeVore, Theater and Dance, Julie Edwards, Mansfield Library, Kathleen George, Biomedical and Pharmaceutical Sciences, Kevin Griggs, Music, Joshua Herbal, Accounting and Finance, Swazig Libian, Philosophy, Matthew Levtow, Liberal Studies, Jeremy Lurgio, Print and Photojournalism, Morton Marco, Modern and Classical Languages and Literatures, John Matt, Educational Leadership, Mary McHugh, Health Professions, Kelly McKinney, Mathematical Sciences. There was a string of K's in here on my thing, but it's Mathematical Sciences, not Mathematical Sciences or something or other. Carol Nelson, Ecosystem and Conservation Sciences. Lucy Hart-Paulson, Communicative Sciences and Disorders. Tammy Ravis, Mansfield Library. Eric Reimer, English. Robert Selden, Political Science. James Smart, Music. Meg Tracy, Public and Community Health Sciences. Kyle Volk, History. Tony Ward, Biomedical and Pharmaceutical Sciences. Erica Woodall, Biomedical and Pharmaceutical Sciences. Ku Wu, Department of Mathematical Sciences. Please join me in honoring and celebrating with these people. Now we will get to the main feature of this particular assembly, and that is the keynote address and my introduction of President Engstrom. It's really my privilege and pleasure to introduce President Engstrom, President of the University of Montana. Over the past 2 years, President Engstrom has demonstrated a high sense of integrity and values as we have dealt with some serious issues. He has demonstrated leadership and resolve, and he has been an inspiration to many. Without a doubt, he is a president for the 21st century. President Engstrom has traveled the state and nation advancing the merits of the university. He has initiated several reforms in education and in administration. He has made tough decisions while winning confidence and gaining support from students, faculty, staff, alumni, donors, and friends of UM. His vision is expansive and progressive, and we are becoming better and better under his leadership. Please join me in welcoming President Royce Engstrom to the podium, where he will introduce our new administrators and enlighten us on the state of the University of Montana.
Thank you very much, and Perry, thank you for the introduction. Good morning. Welcome to the new academic year. The excitement on campus is escalating every day as our students return or come to us for the first time, filled with eagerness to begin a new adventure. Each of us should take pride in knowing that we're in one of the most important professions anywhere. The future of our young people, our state, our nation, and our world depends upon us. I'm proud to be part of one of the nation's finest universities. Give us all a hand because we're all part of that fine university. I want to offer a special welcome to those of you who are new to Missoula and to the University of Montana. Congratulations on your choice of career and institution. I know that you will find your colleagues helpful, energetic, and ready to bring you into the Grizz family. Whether a part of the faculty, staff, or administration, we've hired you to play an essential role in fulfilling our mission and contributing to the exciting atmosphere that makes UM such a special place. So welcome to you. It seems like just a few weeks ago that we gathered in Washington Grizzly Stadium to recognize our graduates at commencement. It was a spectacular day, one of the most beautiful days of the year, as I recall, as we celebrated the graduation of 3,190 people from the 2011-12 academic year, a record number. Since that day, I hope all of you have had the chance to enjoy our beautiful state, to make progress on your scholarship and other projects, and to recharge for the upcoming year. Mary and I, Mary sitting right here in the front row, good to see you. We have to schedule these meetings pretty carefully. But we had the chance to meet with many of our alumni and friends of the university these past several months. And I'm delighted to report the pride and enthusiasm out there for the university. The pride and enthusiasm are exceptional. Graduates are grateful for the quality of the experience they had here, and friends recognize the dedication of our faculty, staff, and administration. On a sad note, one of our dear university friends, Tony Wirtz, was tragically killed Wednesday in an automobile accident outside of Lincoln, Montana. His wife, Grace, remains in the intensive care unit at St. Pat's. Tony was the incoming chair of our UM Foundation Board of Trustees, scheduled to take over at the September meeting. We will miss Tony. He's been a great friend and a terrific contributor to the University of Montana. I have the opportunity to introduce some additional people who are new to the administration of the university. Some of you are serving in interim positions, and I appreciate your enthusiasm in stepping in as we build a leadership team for the future. So I'm going to call some names of some new administrators, and you did such a good job of following Perry's instructions not to applaud until they're all standing. I'd ask that you do that again. So Tom Battaglia, Assistant CIO for Technology Support Services. Becky Christians, Director of Academic Budgets and Personnel within the Office of the Provost. Mick Delaney, our head football coach. Denise Dowling, Dean of the School of Journalism. Gerald Fetz, Director of the Office of International Programs. Christine Fiore, our new Presidential Leadership Fellow. David Forbes, Vice President for Research and Creative Scholarship. Vernon Grunn, Dean of the College of Health Professions and Biomedical Sciences. Michelle Jensen, Budget Director, Division of Student Affairs. Peggy Kaur, Vice President for Integrated Communications. Donna Lewis, Director of Laboratory Animal Resources. Brad Murphy, Executive Director of the Adams Center. Sharon O'Hare, Vice President for Student Success. Rebecca Power, Assistant to the President. Dawn Ressel, Associate Vice President, Office of Budgeting, Planning, and Analysis. Sandy Ross, Dean of the Graduate School. Dan Smith, Director of the Mansfield Center. Rondi Voorhees, Dean of Students. And Sha-Ling Zhang, Dean of the Mansfield Library, who will join us in October. Please recognize and welcome all of these folks. We have some special guests in the audience today with us as well that I'd like to introduce and have you recognize. First of all, we have Clay Christian, the new Commissioner of Higher Education for the Montana University System. We have Joe Teal. Joe Teal, our Student Regent, back here. I see that we have Neil Moisey, our new Academic Officer in the Montana University System, and someone very familiar to us. And I'm delighted to see that we have Commissioner Emeritus Sheila Stearns and Commencement Speaker Extraordinaire with us here today as well. Thank you all. I would like to introduce our student leadership for this year. Zach Brown is our ASUM President, and Bryn Hagfors is the ASUM Vice President. Micah Nielsen is the business manager, but I don't believe Micah was able to be with us today. Well, thanks all of you for being here today and for the work you do for the university and for higher education in the state of Montana. Today, I'm going to divide my remarks into three sections. First, I want to talk about this past year of accomplishment. I want to highlight a number of collective and anecdotal indicators of what we have done as an educational community. Second, I'll comment on the challenges we faced this past year and how they have made us better and stronger. Third, I'll focus on the year ahead, outlining our major opportunities and challenges. In all cases, my remarks are made in the context of our strategic plan, UM 2020, Building a University for the Global Century. For those of you who are new to us, or those who need a reminder, the plan is built around 5 major issues that relate to the expectations of students and the needs of our society with respect to higher education. These 5 areas are student success, increasing the number of people who have access to higher education, not just by entering college, but by graduating with a college credential. Second, education for the global century, ensuring that we are providing our students with the richest educational experience possible so that they graduate with an education that prepares them to be the next generation of thinkers and doers. Third, discovery and creativity to serve Montana and the world, increasing the impact of our research and creative scholarship by conducting more of it and by focusing on questions of relevance to today's world. Fourth, a dynamic learning environment. The combination of great minds, rich programming, stimulating activities, and the stunning surroundings of both our community and our natural environment places UM among the most special campuses anywhere. In fact, Princeton Review recently released a report naming UM in the top 15% of four-year institutions in North America. The School of Law was just ranked 7th, the 7th best value out of 201 law schools. Fifth, the planning assessment continuum, making sure that we take time to reflect upon where we are headed and to examine our progress on a regular basis. On your way out, please pick up a copy of our latest annual assessment report. It shows both quantitative and qualitative indicators of progress, not just as a bragging sheet, but also to make sure we see clearly where we must improve. In that context, let's take a look at some of the accomplishments of this past year. First, our efforts at student success are working. I already mentioned the record number of graduates at last May's commencement. Those individuals will leave here to be the next group of nurses, lawyers, historians, teachers, businessmen and women, artists, journalists, conservationists, pharmacists, and entrepreneurs. Retention rates are going up, with UM's system-wide freshman to sophomore retention rate the highest in the state at 75%. Students are coming to us more prepared. In just 1 year, we saw a dramatic increase in the percentage of students who have gotten the message about college preparation. Our last entering class had 52% who had taken a full college prep curriculum in high school, compared to just 44% the year before. The percentage of our students who need developmental or high school level work has gone down by several percentage points in the last 2 years. While here, our students are accomplishing impressive things. I'm going to give you some examples, and I'll give you some examples throughout this talk of various accomplishments. And I'll tell you that the most difficult thing about writing this talk is limiting the number of examples to just a few, because there are so many to choose from. But I'll begin with our new ASUM president, Zach Brown. Zach was recognized as the university's latest Truman Scholar and as a 2-time Udall Scholarship winner. And he was one of 3 students to be a part of the Clinton Leadership Initiative last year. You may already know this, but UM leads the entire nation in the number of Udall Scholars we have produced, building on the legacy of also being among the leaders in Truman Scholars and even Rhodes Scholars. Zach and his colleagues, in a demonstration of their productivity, have developed the Smart Buildings Initiative, which has been adopted by this university, Montana State University, and in fact the Board of Regents as an initiative. It's a program to save energy and money by monitoring and controlling the energy consumption of our buildings. Our ASUM president last year, Jen Gursky, is running for the Montana legislature right now. Our president from 2 years ago, Ashleen Williams, became UM's first Mitchell Scholar and is pursuing study in Ireland after spending a year in Bahrain. Another 8 of our students became prestigious Fulbright scholars this past year, a remarkable number. They are now studying and teaching around the world in places like Vietnam, Georgia, Norway, and Mexico. Our students are engaged in and beyond the classroom. Terry Burkhouse, Director of Academic Enrichment, estimates that more than 7,000 undergraduate students participated in an academic enrichment activity last year. Activities including service learning, study abroad, internships, research and creative scholarship, or national student exchanges. Here are some additional examples of student accomplishment. For the first time in recent history, UM led the state in the number of students accepted into medical school, including acceptance into the cooperative WWAMI program that we participate in as a state. Last year's editor of the Kaiman, Jamie Fraser, was one of 3 students nationally to win the prestigious Hearst Fellowship, placing her in the Hearst Enterprise for a 2-year period. The other 2 winners were from Dartmouth and Columbia University. Students at the College of Technology, now the Missoula College, developed and entered a solar power vehicle in the national competition last year. This fall, we awarded a record 42 presidential leadership scholarships to exceptional incoming freshmen based on their academic performance, leadership, and contributions to the community. Graduate student Eric Samso took first place in the North American Cartographic Information Society's Dynamic Map Competition. Not just 1, but 4 of our teams of student athletes won the Big Sky Conference Championships last year: football, men's basketball, women's soccer, and men's tennis. This list could go on for a long time. The point is that our students are an energetic and talented group, and they get recognized for their accomplishments in many ways. Some of our recent graduates are making some pretty exceptional contributions as well. Just a couple of examples. Rachel Sneller, a 1995 Davidson Honors College graduate and a French major, is now serving as the State Department counsel in France after accumulating considerable foreign policy experience in Iraq. Dawn Howell, a 1994 forestry graduate, was appointed by President Obama as Deputy Chief of Staff at the National Indian Gaming Commission. Well, our students have these opportunities because they set high standards for themselves, but also because they are taught and nurtured by a truly exceptional faculty and staff. This year's new group of faculty that you just met follows the tradition of attracting top teacher scholars to the University of Montana. Let me focus on a few accomplishments of our recently hired faculty members. Mike Ruselik, an assistant professor in computer science, won a National Science Foundation Career Award. You may not know what that is, but it's a remarkable achievement in that those awards require not just an innovative and significant research proposal, but also a nationally competitive educational proposal. So Mike represents another one of these teacher scholars that we look for. Anthony Johnstone, in his 2nd year at the School of Law, was featured by the National Law Journal as Appellate Lawyer of the Week for his work on the Citizens United case before the U.S. Supreme Court. Matthew Bundle, a 2nd-year faculty member from Health and Human Performance, was just featured in Sports Illustrated for his work assessing the degree of advantage or disadvantage of Olympic runner and double-leg amputee Oscar Pistorius. Ashley McCowan from Anthropology has her research on exhibit at the Smithsonian in Washington, and it will be used as the focus of an alumni event there this fall. Our staff and administrators are also an impressive bunch and have their own set of accomplishments. Sally Mock and Dan Boyce of Montana Public Radio were recently recognized for their leadership by the Society of Professional Journalism. Mark Laparco, Director of Dining Services, was just elected president of his professional organization, and Judy Fredenberg of the Office of Research just finished a term as president of the National Council on University Research Administration. So again, the point is not to provide an exhaustive list of recognitions, but to demonstrate that the people who make up the University of Montana are a wonderfully engaged group of dedicated professionals whose talent and creativity are recognized here and across the nation and around the world. Programmatically, this has been an important year of progress as well. Since last time this year, we've launched with approval of the Board of Regents several new academic programs. A new PhD program in the area of systems ecology was approved this year, involving faculty members from several departments, but with a locus at the Flathead Lake Biological Station. Already, 14 graduate students are registered in the program that studies ecosystems on a scale from molecules to mountain ranges. An academic minor in Arabic Studies was designed and approved with tremendous student interest. Students were actually able to graduate already this past May, having completed the requirements for that minor. Another minor in Global Public Health was approved. The first class of students entered the recently approved master's program in teaching of middle school mathematics, and we have a new athletic training master's program starting this fall. Programmatically, I'm especially excited about the Global Leadership Initiative, or GLI, which was launched this last year. The program provides a pathway for students to supplement any major with a set of experiences designed to prepare them to be leaders when they graduate. The Office of Academic Affairs, along with the GLI Committee of Faculty members, solicited special seminar courses for incoming freshmen on the big questions we face as a global society. The seminars were taught to students who selected into the program, and they covered such interesting topics as issues of global public health, news literacy in the world, food and society in a globalized world. The seminars were designed to provide students with a context in which to design their educational experience at the University of Montana. The first group of students will now participate in a leadership development program in year 2 of the program. And our second group of first-year students are now enrolled in GLI. And we have learned that it was a popular program. We anticipated 200 students for the second year. 370 wanted to be a part of the program. I think we admitted 230 or 240, as I understand. We met many of them last night at a wonderful dinner. Some important building projects were approved by the Board of Regents as well. Upon approval now by the governor, construction will begin on 3 projects: the Gilkey Center for Executive Education, a student-athlete academic success center, and an additional expansion of the interdisciplinary science building. Fundraising is underway for the Learning Commons, a renovation of the ground floor of the Mansfield Library, which will provide a technology-rich individual and group study environment, supplemented by areas for the Writing Center, the Math Center, and a coffee bar. We've made additional progress on technology in the classroom, bringing online another 21 classrooms with a common technology package. We're at about the 50% level now in equipping classrooms, with the goal being of equipping 100% of our classrooms with technology. IT has been expanding the wireless capability around the campus, and the Northern Tier Network, a high bandwidth network of research universities, is now fully functional. Our support from generous donors has once again been outstanding. We received over $19 million in gifts this last year, including a $2 million bequest from Jim Auger to establish scholarships for business students, a $1 million gift from an anonymous donor to support the Flathead Lake Biological Station, and a $75,000 gift from John and Ann White to renovate the lobby of the Fine Arts Building. So it has been an exceptionally busy and productive year in many ways. I credit that productivity fully to you, the people who have the spirit and tradition of this institution in your hearts. It's your creativity, hard work, and collaborative nature that gets so many things done and that continually enhances the reputation of the University of Montana. I'd now like to talk about the challenges we faced during this past year, and more importantly, about the clear and deliberate steps that are in place as we move forward. Let me set the stage with this summary. In mid-December, we received a report of sexual assault, and during the course of the next few months, as most of you know, a number of past assaults were reported and several more assaults actually occurred. We immediately put into motion a number of actions because it became all too apparent that we had an extremely serious issue before us. From the beginning, our objectives were and continue to be threefold. prevent sexual assault from occurring, provide care and counsel for victims of sexual assault, and rid our campus of known assaulters. Sexual assault has no place on our campus or in our society. The women who were assaulted had their lives changed forever, and some of them had their educational dreams shattered. Their experience goes against everything I believe higher education and the university stand for, and I know that you share that belief. The men who carried out these acts exhibited complete disregard for those women, and secondarily for this institution and the many fine people affected by these episodes. Our response to increasing student safety has had several components. I'd like to go through those. First, we began our own investigation in accordance with the University Student Conduct Code and the university's policies and procedures, as we are ethically and legally committed to do. Over the course of a few months of intense work, assisted by an outside investigator, we brought to closure the cases before us. We cooperated with local law enforcement in the cases that involved police. Second, we chose to hold community and campus forums to keep members of our community informed, and we communicated regularly with the Board of Regents and the Commissioner of Higher Education. We did learn during the course of this semester that we had to become even more proactive and cooperative with the media, so we took steps and continue to take steps to learn more about communications and to adopt a better communication strategy. During the course of the year, we became the subject of investigations by the Department of Justice, the Department of Education, and the NCAA. Those investigations are ongoing, and we committed from the beginning to cooperate fully with these agencies. We have nothing to hide. We want to learn all we can from these investigations to improve the safety of our campus. We put in place a new student-athlete conduct code, clarifying infractions of all types and the sanctions associated with those infractions. We put in place, as did the Board of Regents, a mandatory reporting policy that requires employees, all of us, to report to our Title IX coordinator any knowledge of a possible sexual assault or a dangerous situation for members of the university family. We clarified reporting protocols for both victims and employees to remove ambiguity between receiving confidential care and reporting to either law enforcement or campus authorities. We co-sponsored a Call 911 effort with the City of Missoula. We've added an additional police officer to our campus security force, and we will increase the patrolling of residence halls on campus, especially at night and on weekends. We've embarked upon a sweeping educational campaign that has multiple components. A cornerstone of the campaign is a video training module or tutorial that is now required of all students at the University of Montana, without exception, beginning this semester. After putting the student tutorial in place, we'll begin the development of a comparable module for employees. The tutorial is called PETSA, Personal Empowerment Through Self-Awareness. I want to give credit to the team primarily responsible for producing this tutorial. Danielle Wozniak from the School of Social Work, Robert Squires from the School of Extended and Lifelong Learning, Rick Hughes, also from the School of Extended and Lifelong Learning and the Media Arts School, and Beth Hubble from the Women and Gender Studies program. These campus experts created what we believe is an industry standard in education. I want you to look at a short segment of the video to get a sense of its content and effectiveness. So if you would just roll that video for about 90 seconds, please.
And it has happened at the University of Montana. In order to address this issue head-on, the Office of the President has sponsored an effective online tutorial that will help raise awareness and provide valuable insight and resources for the entire campus community. PETSA, which stands for Personal Empowerment Through Self-Awareness, focuses on the topics what you should know, a rape-prone culture, risk reduction for everyone, and what to do. The tutorial itself consists of 7 short videos produced by the University of Montana and a final quiz. In order to successfully complete the tutorial, Students will need to answer all of the quiz questions correctly. The course is mandatory for all students in the first 6 weeks of the fall semester. It will remain available after that. The University of Montana is strategically working towards a violence-free campus, and PETSA is an important part of our effort to provide a safe and healthy environment for everyone. PETSA, personal empowerment through self-awareness.
We will need the help of each of you in calling attention to this educational module. While there will be considerable communication around campus about it, please call attention to it in your classrooms and in your daily contact with students. In summary, we faced a serious challenge during this past year, but nothing as serious as the personal challenges faced by the women who were subjected to assault. The University of Montana, as the video says, is building one of the most effective learning environments in public higher education, which means we need to have one of the safest environments. Together, we will make UM a safer place and do everything we can to eliminate sexual assault as a threat. Let's turn now to the year ahead of us and identify our priorities. And again, I do this in the context of UM 2020. Again, this is not an exhaustive list, but here are some key areas that we will need to focus upon this next year. Number one, certainly a clear priority is the area I just discussed, making sure our campus is as safe as it can be. I won't go into any more detail on that at this time, but if you want to talk about it more in the discussion session that follows this event, we can certainly do so. Two, a new facility for the Missoula College, formerly known as the College of Technology. We will be working during the upcoming legislative session to secure funding for this building, which is the highest priority new construction for the Board of Regents. The message behind this facility is threefold. The existing facility is old, small, and nowhere near what today's students need for an education of the standard we expect at the University of Montana. Having students and faculty in temporary trailers, no matter how well constructed by our own students, is unacceptable. The Missoula College must be more fully integrated into the university, both for practical reasons of delivering services cost effectively to our students and for maximizing educational opportunities for students and faculty. The Missoula College will be the first building on the new South Campus of the university, setting the stage for the next century of growth for the university and a cohesive, cost-effective strategy. We'll be holding a community forum open to the campus and Missoula community next month to discuss in more detail these 3 points and other aspects of the Missoula College building project. 3, also associated with the legislative session will be our work to secure a pay plan that recognizes the national recruitment environment in which our university exists. I'm convinced, and I know you agree, that the long-term competitiveness of our state depends upon attracting the highest quality of faculty, staff, and administration to the university. 4, our per-student investment in higher education needs strengthening. Our investment is significantly less than that at similar institutions, even in other states that have small populations such as ours. It is that investment that relates directly to student success, to the quality of the educational experience, to our ability to carry out cutting-edge research and creative scholarship. An investment in higher education is an investment in the growth of Montana's economy. The cost of public higher education in Montana, and specifically at the University of Montana, has not been rising out of control, contrary to the national rhetoric you might hear. In fact, in Montana, we have had among the lowest tuition increases in the nation over a multi-year period. 5, with the help of many people heading and serving on search committees, we will continue to develop the leadership team at the cabinet level. This fall, we will finalize cabinet level appointments in the positions of athletic director, vice president for research and creative scholarship, vice president for administration and finance, vice president for integrated communications, chief information officer, and chief legal counsel. And as I promised last year, we will initiate a search to name a permanent provost during this fall. I might have wished that not all of these positions would have become available at the same time, but I do see this as a tremendous opportunity to create a leadership team for the future of this university. 6, together we will continue to push the specific objectives of UM20. In particular, we'll keep our focus on the Global Leadership Initiative, making sure we continue to implement this program that is cutting edge in today's world. We'll continue to strengthen efforts at student success through many strategies, including work on the Learning Commons in the library. We'll increase our efforts to enhance the impact of our research, focusing our investment strategy more precisely by working with the faculty to strengthen our research infrastructure and by increasing our emphasis on technology transfer. I want to let you know of 2 exciting events that are planned for this year that will improve the visibility and the strength of our academics. Vice President Forbes is organizing a new event that will be called the President's Research Day, scheduled for early November. The day will highlight research and creative scholarship for the general public and for our campus. Through this event, we want people to see the exceptional work being done at UM on cutting-edge questions. Provost Brown will organize a special event called A Celebration of Academics, to be scheduled for late fall or early spring. It will be a day to showcase the quality of our educational programming and the innovation behind new approaches to teaching and learning. Number 7, communication, communication, communication. This will be a year where we tell the story of the university in full context and in a manner that highlights the tremendous accomplishments of our people and the extraordinary contribution this university makes to the state of Montana. The Vice President for Integrated Communications will be charged with coordinating that work. Peggy Kaur is now filling that role. Communications include the implementation of a new brand strategy that is under development through the work of a company called Mind Over Media. We'll begin to see the results of that relationship beginning this coming month. 8, support from alumni and the foundation. Philanthropy has become essential to every institution of higher education at some level. We are blessed with an especially loyal alumni base and a supportive donor base. We will use this year to position ourselves for transformative fundraising. Philanthropy is essential to virtually every major issue of our strategic plan. We are working closely with both the foundation and the Alumni Association to lay the groundwork for that effort. So it promises to be a busy year, and it promises to be a rewarding year. Let's never forget the fundamental reasons why we are here: to open doors for our students and to carry out the intellectual work that propels our society forward. Ours are among the most important jobs in existence, and I applaud each of you for the vigor with which you pursue your respective work. The future of Montana and our country depends on us as we are preparing the leaders, the problem solvers, and the creative thinkers for our world in this global century. During the work that Mind Over Media has done for us, one of the comments that came back captures a good deal of what we must be about this coming year. That comment was, "Let's tell the world what we've built here." Ladies and gentlemen, I believe we are building one of the nation's finest universities. Let's take pride in that and tell the world. Thank you for your hard work and support.
Thank you, President Engstrom, for the challenges that you've set before us, and thanks to each of you for attending today. For those of you wishing to follow up on the President's vision, the President and I will conduct a question and answer session in the Masker Theater in just a few minutes, and so we would like you to join us there if you have anything that you want to follow up on, a discussion you would like to get into. Let me just say to every one of you, have a wonderful year, everyone, and remember, we are Montana.